So here it is, a car we've been speaking about all this time, and just absolutely amazing. And and yes, that is Aston Martin. The thing that,
tell by the smell.
Is the most frustrating part about what you do, not having people fully be able to absorb just how much is into what you do, just how much detail. There's a lot of, hey man, that's cool, and I like what you did with the fenders.
Yeah.
But
the door handles are cool.
The enormity,
to my Camaro.
The enormity of it, the detail, the specificity of it.
Yeah, that is frustrating when you do all that. But on the flip side, to spin that to my favorite compliment we get at shows, especially when a car's somewhere for a couple of days and people, they're able to see it, like at SEMA or Grand National, is they come up and they say what I've nicknamed the Easter egg hunt. They're like, I keep coming back to the car and I keep finding these things on it. And so it is frustrating, but sometimes people do take the time and they do look around and especially the Camaro guys, they'll start actually noticing there's a ton of changes here without any changes. We have these tips that were brand new from Flowmaster.
Exhaust.
And I wanted a nice little flange. So this flange used to be only about this wide off of the rear roll pan of a 67 Mustang.
Right.
So we bought 2 roll pans so we could cut one here and cut one here to make a wide one, and then welded it in. So it's nice and graceful, gives me that shape, gives me that shape.
Right.
It works together. If I didn't sit there and explain it to you, you'd never know it's there.
You wouldn't notice
But
it.
when you see it go down the road, you go, wow, that looks nice back there.
But here's another thing. There's a handful of guys that are out there, Pure Vision and your team specifically, that when I walk around the SEMA floor, I walk by and I know that this is your car. I could see it for the first time and I'm like, this feels like it's a Pure Vision car.
And I thank you. Yeah, there's a formula
there's
that I
something
seem
about
to do that
Right.
Well, walking along the side of the car, what is different?
Believe it or not, there's that. The thing that you do notice, obviously, is the Aston Martin handle.
Right.
These pieces here, they're held in by screws. We opened up we slotted them so that we pushed them into the body about a 1/16 of an inch just to tighten that gap. When I step back by 50 feet from those cars, I'm like, wow, that's a really attractive shape. Because we brought out all those little highlights. Now, everything in the front's all carbon fiber.
This is all carbon fiber.
All from Anvil.
Now, did you have to change or modify it to keep that line as sharp all the way across?
No, that's Mick Jenkins at Mix Paint just perfecting everything.
Right.
He's got a month in fitting.
It's carbon fiber, but it's still it was made to fit.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the body work. It's got you still got to mud this car basically and get those lines crisp.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
A skim coat and then hopefully 80% hit the floor.
Wow.
Wow.
So again, Anvil's carbon inner fenders, and they're widened from the factory to fit the big tires in the front.
Okay.
So you don't have any rub problems. There's a lot going on that you don't see. Like if you look off the back of the cylinder head, you see the drain tube, the pressure tube for the hose for the valve cover.
Yeah.
You'll see other fuel lines because underneath the car, both sets of fuel lines I talked about come up, go to bulkheads, then go to hose. In the back of those are the regulators that are built in, the 2 bumps in the back of the intake. So on each side, you got 3 hoses. You got send and return fuel, and then the blow by for the valve cover. Just the clamps. We made those clamps out of stainless. They're like a cloverleaf design to hold it in a triangle pattern so the hoses stay how I want coming across.
Wow.
Then there's these are twins, tanks and breathers. These are recovery tanks for the valve covers. They have the drain tubes that go to the ground. And then these tanks, this is for the power steering reservoir, and this is for the coolant that flows from the air to air to air to water. And then there's a 2013 Shelby GT500 electric water pump. That pump just circulates the coolant for the intercooler.
And the plenum and the intake.
This has got the 16 injectors in it. Throttle body is built into it. Fuel pressure regulators are built into it.
Those are all kind of flush and
everything's inside the intake. Yeah.
Now this is something that Tom Nelson puts together.
Nelson's
this is a package.
stuff. Yeah.
What's also really cool, and take a look at this, is he does his mirror image turbos.
Right.
He makes these turbos
right and
from
left
scratch,
hand.
so they're symmetrical because when you do a twin turbo
Yeah, and it
setup,
goes like that.
one pipe
Right.
is always up and one pipe is
Right,
always down.
right.
And you can make it kind of look cool, but you'll never get this look unless you actually make a right and left turbo.
Yeah.
Underneath that is the fill for the radiator, because it's the highest point, and also this is moved forward 3.5 inches from factory. That motor is moved back 3 inches from factory, and since this is so far forward, the radiator cap would hit right here. So we put the cap up there, and then underneath that trap door, the mirror image, that is the fill for the hydraulic clutch.
Just the hood hinges are a piece of art.
Yeah, that is Ring Brothers, but then we pulled them apart, played with them a little bit, and then of course I had them anodized in that bronze.
And we were talking about the gold fire shielding that comes on the McLaren F1.
Yep,
If
this
you
is the 24 karat gold.
ever go by
shielding.
Leno's place and want to take a look at the back of that F1 or
I think you had the
F
engine out of it last
McLaren.
time we were there. But
Yeah,
The screen will come up, 10 seconds, and it's already up, and then you put in a code,
and that code unlocks.
Now you gotta
unlocks
change
the
the code
screen,
because it's on camera.
and then you choose, like if you want to start the car, you go here to ignition,
Wow.
and then you'll turn it on, and then that is
Wow. So nothing's mechanical
no.
there.
And even this is soft touch, that is driving lights, and then it's all LED top lit interior
It's just
lighting.
incredible mixture of just brute horsepower meets total finesse and technology.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and fire it up?
Fire it up. Well, turbos are quieter normally.
Fuel pumps are louder, but
Wow.
so it's the nice thing though is when you're driving on the highway, you're not going to have your eardrum shattered.
Right.
It's a nice, quiet car, and tons of Dynamat and Dynaliner insulation, and
Yeah.
these are out of a BMW 5 Series that I made.
Door handles,
Used the trim to pick up this line and bring it back. And so that's the gauges I talked about. So
Right.
this is all made from scratch.
Just and on the passenger side, the grab bar and the glove box again very.
Yeah, I did. I
Corvette.
wanted something there, not just flat.
Right,
So that's actually a piece of stainless steel brake tubing that I drilled and tapped, and so there's 2 screws holding it on from the inside, and then I polished it.
Put
so
a handle on the glove box.
just presentation. So the gray in here, and then white stitching to pick up. So this is an Aston Martin-ish print. Again, we didn't use it directly; just used it as inspiration.
Unbelievable.
Nice, very, very, very close ratio, 6 speed.
6 speed, 5 speed.
6 speed.
Oh, of course.
That all the guts have been cryogenically treated and polished, so you can handle the horsepower.
Got the
Better
got the
lubrication
freeze treatment.
flow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, I used to be heat treating something. Now you freeze. Throw out the website one more time, Steve.
You can follow along with what we're doing at purevisiondesign.com and also Pure Vision at Facebook, just Pure Vision.
So, until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Steve Strope and Matt, the moderator, DeAndrea, saying keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.